there's enough of the squad that's been in the arena, and there's enough of the squad that have witnessed and been in the arena for different events. So we don't feel that we need to go and see the arena beforehand. So we're just concentrating on training program, and then we'll get ready for Monday when it comes.
I know you mentioned the previous two meetings this season are kind of gone and this was different, but losing both of those must give you and the players a bit of extra motivation going into this one.
Honestly, Adam, and I'll reiterate it again, what's gone on there, and we're not even looking back at those two games. What we are just doing is looking at this game as a sole entity and one game. And that's how we're just looking at it, and we're just focusing on this one game as it is and where it is now. What's gone on before has gone on, that's happened. The season's finished. This is just a one-off game in the final, and we're just focusing on that.
You finished 10 points ahead of Barnsley. You've set all kinds of records this season. Michael Duff sees you guys as favourites and them as the underdogs. Is that how you see it?
No, he's going to see it as that, but you know me, I'm too grey now to suggest that. Really, what we have got to do is we got a final. We got two teams competing in the final. Two teams from Yorkshire, two local teams that see and know enough about each other. And what we will do is just focus on the game. Do I predict anybody's a favourite? No, because they never are in the final. So I can blow that one out the water, really, and just say, let's just focus on the game, and we'll be detailed about the game, and we approach the game as we have done all season, with detail, with precision, with respect, and then we look to get about our work in the right manner.
I think it's fair to say that they have the more youthful team. You have a little bit more experience on your side. Does that count in Sheffield Wednesday's favour?
No, I don't think you can predict that, because the only thing you can predict at the moment is both teams have shown some degree of consistency to get to this point. I think that's probably the one ingredient that you can tick. Youthful, older teams, experienced or not experienced team, players that's been at Wembley before, players that's not been at Wembley before. I don't think you can really put those parameters on the game, because at the end of the day, it's on the day, and that's why I said everything what's gone on before, you can almost forget that, because really it's just on the day of the game, and that's where our focus and precision are in the detail of the game, and that's how we've maintained and kept that approach with it. So, and that's all going to be our focus.
I know you've played and won in a playoff final before. There's clearly other members of the team that have played for Wednesday in a playoff final before. Barry Bannon, Jack Hunters. Have those kind of experiences something that you've talked about as a group and what you can learn from them?
We haven't really spoken to them as a group, but what you would say subconsciously, it's got to have helped with those boys that have been in the arena and won in the arena, because they know what it takes to win in the arena. So those we've never spoken about as a group, but I would imagine those to have those components within their squad it's a real nice ingredient to have. So it's really nice to have those players, and maybe those players will, I'm sure, speak amongst themselves and express what it's like in that arena at that time, and what potentially they could face on Monday.
Michael Duff's been complimentary about yourself in his press conference this week. You're, of course, a former Barnsley player, as we all know. How impressed have you been with the job that he's done from the situation he arrived in last summer? Yeah,
and you know, I've known Duffers a little while now over the course of our footballing careers, and now into the management at the level that we are. Am I surprised with the work he's done at Barnsley? No. Why am I not surprised? Because he's thorough, he's meticulous with his work, he's a worker, he sees the game, he understands the game, and he's very astute with his approach in the game in terms of how he sets his team up and understanding the strengths and weaknesses that his team has. So if he embodied that with where he's at, it shows a level of consistency. He's got wonderful leadership qualities, he's clear and methodical with his approach, and he's clear with his views. So he's done a magnificent job to go in there and steady the ship, and not only steady the ship, but giving the whole place belief in a continuation. and credit to him for the work that he's done this season. It really has been a tremendous bit of work, and as managers we can appreciate the work that we've done over the course of the season. And I've got to say to him, he's done a magnificent job, but he knows it because I told him himself after we played them. So credit to him. We go head to head again at Wembley on Monday, and our two teams will battle it out to try and get that final spot, which will take the team into the championship.
You talk about belief there. I think the events of last week at Hillsborough seem to have lifted absolutely everyone connected with Sheffield Wednesday Football Club. What's been the kind of reaction from supporters who've stopped you over the past week, because you had some nice stories ahead of the game?
Yeah, and the amount of mail that's come into the football club, and when I have seen the supporters, and the joy really that it is. But remember, Adam, I spoke about before the encouragement and the support, and I think that's been the when we talk about that first. I mean, after the event, it's easier, but the true support is before we know what the outcome's going to be. That's been the bit where I've been most impressed with the supporters, and that's why I've always personally thanked them. I'm thanking them here and now for their support before, and I'm thanking them for the consistency that they've given us over the course of this season. And I can stretch it back to last season. They've been a real energized vocal support and a passionate support. And the one thing I would say with knowing the supporters and the ones that I've met, there's one ingredient that they all have, is a sheer passion. It really is, that I felt from them, and that's a driver, Adam. It's a real driver, because when you speak to the people, they're a real driver. So credit to them. I thank them all, and obviously, like I said, we still got work to do, and we'll approach the work as best detail as possible in going about our work. So it's a thank you to them.
I mean, we saw the atmosphere, the occasion, the reaction, or the stories from last week. Does it show to you what's possible with this football club, but also what's at stake this Monday? Yes,
but again, Adam, did I knew what was possible based on that game? No, I knew what was possible when I arrived there. It's why I arrived there at the football club, for the opportunity to manage this fantastic football club. And I'm humbled in my approach, just to say it's an honour to manage this football club, really. But since coming here, it's been about getting to work and bringing this club together, and giving them a team that they feel proud of, to go and support and push on. And we've seen elements of that over the course of the season. And I'm sure we'll witness elements of that on Monday with the support, really. It's great to hear, when the tickets went on sale, that they were quickly sold, the whole over a number of days, really, for that volume of fans to sell over the days. It goes to show the appetite that they've got for the club, the love and passion they have for the football club, which I just think is excellent, and is testament to the supporters individually and collectively. So credit to you all, and I look forward to seeing them all on Monday.
Will that comeback, though, only matter in the events of the last week if you get the job done at Wembley?
Of course. Let's not beat about the bush with it, really, in terms of that. And that's why we don't even talk about the comeback, because the comeback's gone. That was then, it's gone, So we're really focused on, and that's why when we got back in training, we've just focused on the game, because the next game up, Adam, which is the final. The comeback, talking about, that's down to the media world's been doing that because of the interest that he created, but we can't do anything about that. The only bit what we had was to work hard at the game. We went in with a game plan, and it was nice to come out the other end and see that game plan come through. Afterwards, I leave all that talking and all that to you guys, but internally within the football club, that's gone. We've just focusing on the final, and our preparation's been about that. And honestly, Adam, you know me, that's honestly what it's been after that game in the air over the two legs.
We've heard some remarkable stories this week. There's one fan that we've just seen that's set off from Adelaide in Australia that's making the journey for this one. 44,000 Sheffield Wednesday supporters are going to go down there. We saw the impact what your video did at Hillsborough last week. What's your rallying call now? What's your message to those 44,000 supporters that are heading to Wembley to support your team?
I mean, I just said it about the passion, and there you go. We've got a supporter that's just set off from Adelaide, Australia, on his way here now. We've got supporters that are away on holiday, that are cutting their holiday short to come back and support. We've got 44,000 down there, and that's the passion what I speak about with this football club. And the message has been to the fans is thank you. The message to the fans is continue doing what you're doing with your vocal support and driving these players on, because it's definitely felt, and you are the 12th man. But just the sheer passion that you show, it transpires to the players. And that's why I'm sort of made up in terms of hearing those ingredients from the supporters. So they're doing all that they can and continue doing all you can, because all what you've been doing is definitely been felt by myself and the team. And it's going to be a proud day for me down there in terms of coming out there and seeing you all. So, yeah, get right behind us. And we really do thank you for your drive and your commitment that you've shown this team over this season. And we need another push on Monday.
And just finally from me, Darren, clearly the two legs of the semi-final were poles apart. How reassured from what you've seen this week is it that you're going to get something similar to the second leg and not the first leg?
Well, I think that from the first and second leg, I think it's clear the players knows what it's about. I think that's the message, really. I think when you split the both two games, there's a one game where there's a do and there's another game where there's a don't, and I think it's clear for all to see, really. So I suppose there doesn't need much for me to say really on that context, because of the lessons learnt in the short space of time with the both games. So I suppose we can just really go off by that. And we have to remember the players' intentions are always to want to play well and do well, but we understand what the ingredients, what football can bring at times. But obviously you always focus on the positive elements of the game and visually picture yourself in a more positive state and nature of it, and that's been our positivity this week in terms of that, really. So we get ready for the game, we plan and prepare as always that we've done, Adam, and we get ready for a wonderful game on Monday.
Thanks, Darren. Hope you've got some jelly snakes ready just in case.
Your ones that you gave me are all gone, mate.
Good man, thank you.
Cheers.
Darren.
You alright, Darren? How you doing?
How you, Joe? Good, thanks.
Good stuff. Before I go on to the football, I just wanted to ask, how are you feeling? Are you allowing yourself to be excited by the prospect of it all yet?
Yeah, for me, how I'm feeling is quite calm about it. The focus is getting the work done, so I've got to focus on the work, so I can leave Monday where it is, because I know in between that, Joe, there's work to be done, which is what we're doing. So I feel quite calmed about it. Also, I'm embracing it. I'm enjoying it. It's great to hear the support base outside of here. That's the interest within the club. It's great to hear it. But also, I'm really focused on internally within the football club, and I can do that, Joe. I can really focus on the here and now inside the football club, because there's enough going on inside this football club to keep focused in here, and that's exactly what I'm doing.
Excellent. Like just been mentioned there, 44,000 Wednesday nights going down to London. How much are you looking forward to walking out into that at Wembley?
I mean, it's incredible, and that's where, you know, again, you know, their passion, their energy, and because you felt that passion and energy over the course of the season, you kind of sort of anticipating what it's going to be like down there. But even in terms of my anticipation, I bet it'll be more than that, really, in terms of it, even what I'm anticipating here. So it's great to hear, and you know, my message has been clear to the supporters. Just thank you so much, and you know, look forward to seeing them all on Monday.
Yeah, in terms of the logistics, I know you said you're leaving tomorrow, but what are you guys doing in terms of training? We saw Barnsley saying that they're going to be training at Brentford. What are you guys planning on doing?
Yeah, no, we're training at a different location. Probably not a location as sort of in a professional realm as probably where they're going, but it's still really a detailed approach in terms of where we're going, and it's got the facilities that we want and need. We've done a recce on the facilities. It's excellent what we need, and we'll go down there and go and train these 2 days before we get down to London on the Monday. So we're really looking forward to it. As I said, the players have given some time off today, so we can just finalise 1 or 2 travelling arrangements today, and then we'll get off tomorrow.
What do those training sessions look like? Are they very similar to the ones that you'd be doing if you were here, or because of the environment, because of the occasion, does it change at all?
Yeah, no, it's still very much the same, because the environment that we went in makes sure that we tick the boxes, that we can keep that continuity of the sessions going, because that's important for us, because it's important from the learning, the teaching, the contact. So all those kind of things are really, really important to us. So the facility that we're going to has all those going for us. So we're pleased to get it, and we're pleased that it'll be part of our preparation for the game.
Excellent. And you had Marvin Johnson and Dom Iorfa both went off in the game the other day. Have they trained fine this week? Yeah,
they're both fine, Joe, and ready really. So with the game being on the Monday, it's given them enough optimal time to get back into training, for the medical department to get them back in, and it's great to have them back.
Has that been a bit of a bonus? Because usually the turnaround time is really quick between the semi and the final. After the expenditure that Wednesday put in that mammoth game the other night, is having that extra bit of time.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely, and it's great to have that time, because it gives the players good time to recover. It gives the ones what have got little knocks and bruises to recover. And I would imagine mentally now and physically, any little knocks and bruises they had is quickly forgotten about, with the anticipation of wanting to play on Monday, and getting out there and expressing their talent in that arena.
Is there anyone that, I know that obviously you've spoken a lot about the injury situation and stuff, but is there anyone that might have a look in for this game that possibly hasn't been there before, or are you still dealing with the same squad?
Yeah, more or less the same squad group of players that we've got, that we're working with at the moment, and then we'll have a look really in terms of how this squad goes in the week. Obviously, we still got a couple of training sessions before then, so we just we want to keep that clean bill of health really in approaching the game on Monday.
Excellent. Just want to touch on the VAR aspect to this game. It's obviously not something you've had all season. Firstly, what's your thoughts on VAR? And secondly, have you had to prepare any differently, knowing that that's going to be there?
I think obviously the VAR are there. We're clear as to what it's there for. It's there for the final. We have, like I would imagine everybody's, we've had a Premier League official in to run through all the aspects what VAR does, because you got to remember that we've had a season where we've not had it, so there's been certain elements of it, but now we're going into a final where there's going to be parts of the game where it's going to be used, and there's going to be parts of the game where there's going to be a stoppage of play to analyse something that the players have to get used to, because we've probably watched it on TV and probably all understand it, but to actually be in the arena and playing under those rules of VAR, I think it's essential that the players know about it, the staff know about it, and that's what we've had this week really, in terms of the Premier League official going through video footage, the do's and don'ts and everything else of it really, so we've been through that.
Brilliant. Just lastly from me, I know it's obviously he won't be there for this game because he's sort of still recovering, but saw Ben Hennigan posted about being back out on the grass at Hillsborough today. How pleased are you for him that he's sort of nearing the end of his recovery now? Delighted,
and I know for Ben, for the injury that he suffered, I had one of them, but I know now this is like sort of the end of the road really, that you can see the light at the end of the tunnel, because he's back on the grass, he's doing ball work, he's with the sports science, so really he's just ticking the boxes before he's allowed fully to come back with the group of players. So he's right bang on course. And of course, his time when he gets to rub shoulders with the players will be in pre-season. So it's not far away, but he's just finishing the last part of his rehab, and looks very much. He looks in good nick, and very very hungry really, which you can imagine. So it's been a long road for him, but he's nearing the end of it now.
Fantastic. All the best, Darren. I'll see you down there.
Cheers, Joe. See you there, mate.
Darren, how you doing?
Afternoon, Alex.
I stumbled across a selfie of yours at the final in 2016. I think you were there in, I don't know, in some watching brief or something like that. What do you remember, if anything, of that game and sort of looking out into the sea of blue? 'Cause it was quite a sight, I'm told.
Yes, it was, and I was invited down there by the EFL, and I went down and I thought, yeah, I'd go and watch the game. And honestly, the one moment in the game, I just remember me taking my eyes off the game, looking to the Wednesday end, and just seeing all the Wednesdayites just bouncing, and it felt like the stadium was moving. It really did, but it was such a joy to see, and I paused, and I really paused for a good while, and it's one of the most fantastic sights I've seen in the game. So as a manager, I've got a perception in my head what I'm going to see on Monday. I really have, but from the technical area. So I was up in the stand, so this would be from the technical area at sort of ground level. So to see that on Monday, I want the Wednesdayites to do it, so I can see it from the technical area and witness it from there really, and see it really. So, and it'd be great, and that's what I remember from that time really.
I'm sort of wary not to put words in your mouth here, but moments like that, were they part of the draw of Sheffield Wednesday? Everyone knows what a big club it was, but those individual personal moments of seeing something like that, did that really sort of hit home just what a big football club this is?
Yeah, but I knew anyway, Alex, coming here, I really did, look on the football club, and I did do that, and not just that moment, but there's been times in the football season where I felt the energy of and the support and the passion of the fans. And really, Alex, I don't mind talking about the supporters, because they are the key. They're the ones, they're the key, they're the special piece in the machine, that all-important cog, really, that gets this place going, because of the support and the passionate support. It's not just the support, it's the passion they show. It's when I speak to people, the passion that they have within, and it's really, it's something to behold of, really. So it's a driver, it's a real driver. And that's them. It seeps, it runs through them. It's been passed on from generation to generation, and to hear the support that we're going to get down there is great to hear, and it's wonderful. And to hear that there's a supporter left from Adelaide in Australia making his way over, and I've heard of lots of supporters cutting their holidays. They're out there for a week, and into the holiday they're cutting it short to come back. It's just great passion shown for the support of the club and what it means to the football club. So to hear those stories, they can't help but drive you. They can't help but lift you internally and outwardly, really, towards it. So it's great to hear.
You had any fellas shouting at you from windows of cars again this week?
Yeah, I have actually. I've been in. Just yesterday. You had my window down, and somebody saw me and shouted again, really, which was great to. Yeah, great to hear, really, and again, yeah, I've been out in the food hall shopping, and yeah, these mobile phones are good for taking pictures at the moment. So it's been great for the supporters again with them yesterday, and I understand it, really. So it's great to see the joy. But what I get back from them, Alex, again, is their passion and drive. It's a two-way thing, really, and that's what I get back from the supporters. So those people that I've met over the last few days, thank you again, and we get ready for Monday.
Seen Pep Guardiola speak about Wednesday this week. I don't know whether you saw that. There's obviously commentary snips in Arabic and Italian and all sorts of languages. It feels like Sheffield Wednesday's back in the national consciousness. I know you prefer to sort of focus on what you're doing and leave all that as noise, but it must give you a sense of pride that, you know, a club that was, you know, up there and one of the best teams in the country is now being spoken about on a national or global stage again. Yeah,
and it's nice because I want the club to get those accolades and deserve it for the supporters and that. But for that we were speaking as us as a club internally, but also we know nationally the game reached so many different people because of the excitement that the game went on, the excitement on it. Obviously for us internally, we was just managing the game as we do, but outside externally, it hit all sorts of communities and all people that we would deem that in the social world have got a platform, and obviously when they speak, a lot of people listen. So it's great to hear some of the views that have been expressed by towards the football club on that night, and it was a special moment for us as a football club, but also it was a special moment externally for so many people outside that are not connected with the football club because of the excitement it brought. But it was great to hear him talk of the fans again. You know, it was really good to hear him talk of the fans and speak about the level of our pyramids of football. And it's again credit to the level of football that we have here. But again, for me, it was the special part was when he spoke about the supporters being 33,000 packed in at Hillsborough, roaring the sun. And make no mistake, the part they played in helping gain that result.
On Liam Palmer, you know, the role that he played, you know, it was a fresh one on us, a big call and all the rest of it certainly came off. Was that a one-off thing, or can we expect that to maybe, you know, reserve the right to use that again perhaps on Monday?
Alex, you know me, horses for courses. You know, I've said it since when I arrived here. There's certain players you'll think that they should play a certain position and they have their position, but there's certain players within that can rotate and play different positions and almost sacrifice themselves for the benefit of the team. It's not just Liam Palmer on his own. There's a multitude of players in this training ground, in this team, that play in different positions, and it's something that I've always applied since I've been manager, is looking at players, seeing their number one position, but looking at other positions, but expressing that to the players that you will and adopt to playing different positions. Liam Palmer playing in that position wasn't Liam Palmer just being plucked and played in that position. It's been Liam Palmer that over the course of the season, as along with other players, have been playing in that position, drilling in training, working in training, practicing, in order that when they do get in there, they're able to perform at the level and be consistent but be effective for the team. And I think he showed that, and it was great for him. And you've seen the season that he's had thus far, where in both boxes, really, where he's been at and the level of consistency. So I think it's a credit to Liam that he was able to do it. He was prepared for it. He's intelligent enough. He's a good footballer, and we didn't think any different that he couldn't do the job that he did, and he done it really, really well.
Suited and booted on Monday, or are you sticking with the tracksuit?
Definitely tracksuit.
Yeah, nothing changes. Good stuff. One last one from me. I feel like the Grinch sort of asking this question, and you may want to bat it away, but win or lose on Monday, there will be difficult decisions made on some of the players that are out of contract. Is that? Do you have a timeline in mind of when you'll have those conversations and when those decisions will be made?
Yeah, no, the chairman, we had a chat again a couple of days ago, and we'll address that. What was it? I think he said in 4 days' time. So what we'll do is we'll get the final over and done with. Me and the chairman, along with the recruitment team, have got a meeting, and we'll have that meeting. We're just focusing on Monday, which you can understand, and I think that's the main thing. But we will have discussion soon afterwards.
Good stuff. feel terrible leaving on that. I feel like I've popped a balloon. Good luck on Monday. I'll see you down there.
Cheers, Alex. Thank you.
Hi Darren, you okay?
Yeah, good. Thanks, Ricky.
Good stuff. You've obviously managed at Old Trafford, you managed it against Liverpool. I'm thinking of that derby game on the last day a few years ago, but this for you ranks as the biggest occasion for you as a manager?
Yeah, of course. I mean, without a doubt, because it's the next, next competition for us. It's the final at Wembley. It's a player final, and we know the rewards that it can bring. So of course it's the next, it's the most important one because of the work that's gone in it, Ricky, the consistency, the sacrifice, all those things that go in getting to this at this stage. So yeah, it is, and not only that, but the passion that I've got for the club as well, and for the people, and for the players, for the staff. So it is a big game. But it's a game that I'm really looking forward to, Ricky. It's a game that I'm embracing these moments, enjoying these moments, and preparing for the game on Monday.
It'll be obviously the last game of the season, but the 60th. You think back to that Portsmouth game 10 months ago. I mean, it's been a long, long season, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has been. Yeah, it has been. And it's been a long season, Ricky, but still one that's gone relatively quite quick. It really has. In talking, this will be the 60th game, and I mean, it really has been the amount of preparation for games and everything else. But again, we've slipped back into the training mode. We've slipped back into preparing as we would. There's a good atmosphere amongst the group, which you can imagine and expect. So all those things help you carry you through the days after days. And going forward.
Obviously, guys have touched on it before about the fact that we've 44,000 Wednesday fans down there. Just in terms of you, family, friends, are they all heading down for the match?
Yeah. We got family and friends that will be down there coming to watch and support as always. But like myself, as soon as the game kicks off, all those are really oblivious to me because I just see the game, Ricky, and that's the main thing for me, really.
How important is it going to be, dealing with the atmosphere at Wembley, not just the fans, but also the weather? I'm thinking it's going to be a boiling hot day, which by all accounts it is, plus the size of the pitch at Wembley. Have you kind of discussed that with the players?
Yeah, we've discussed that with the players. And we know in terms of it, and we'll see what the officials do on the day, whether they feel, a drinks break and all that will be taken into consideration because of the temperature of the day, really. So we'll be governed by that with it on the day. As regards the atmosphere, it'd be great, but also everybody knows I'll be just in tuned in the game and just focused on the game and sort of detailing what's going on inside the pitch. And getting ready for the game, really.
Obviously, you played there. Is it just the once you played there with Derby in the final?
Yeah.
Yeah. What? Obviously, I know you spoke before about that, but what do you remember about the build-up to that, as well as the game itself? How your coaching staff and managers kind of managed you throughout that period. Yeah,
it was a good time and a great time, and again, it was a time that. I embraced and enjoyed it, and I remember the training leading into it and everything else. And I remember, the night before, just getting a real good night's rest in terms of the game, and arriving at the stadium and just getting ready, getting changed, and then it was almost like when the referee blew the whistle, Ricky, and we're just going into autopilot mode, really, and just seeing the game, and it literally was that because. The time that I'd spent at the Albion and then coming across to Derby and playing them a year later after leaving the Albion and playing them in the final for Derby was a real surreal moment. But when I fixed my eyes back on the game, I just remember just going into autopilot mode in terms of just getting on with the job, and it was great to win the game.
obviously you've got a few selection kind of posers, but I know we spoke about it not long ago. The nice ones to have, aren't they? You know, the other day you picked four strikers. How have you kind of gone about that, and how's training been this week? I presume every single player that's fit and available has been kind of chomping at the bit.
Yeah, and that's been it, and that's what you want, Ricky. And yes, they all want to play. All of them want to play. So, you know, in training, you know, it's probably been more easing them up really than going forward, because you're trying to get the right balance. Because obviously you don't want to get anything silly at this stage of the season, because they're all showing a competitive nature because they want to play, which is understandable. As a manager, you wouldn't have it any other way. So that's been the elements in training this week, but it's been good. It's been channeled in the right way, which has been good.
Obviously, Lee Gregory had a bit of a scare over the weekend with his mask going missing. How happy were you that got found?
No, thank you to the supporter for bringing it back and finding it and bringing it back for us. That's very kind of you, because it just meant that Lee could train all week, which he has done, whereas before, without it, we would have had to have another one made and he might have missed a few days training. So the mere fact that he's been able to train all week has been really, really good. So thank you to the supporter for answering that rallying cry and bringing it back.
I was going to say, was that a genuine concern if that had not got found? Because it's obviously specific to his, you know, his face and cheek.
Yeah.
Was that a big concern then?
Yeah, because you have to make one specially, and by the time you get him back down there to get it all measured and made, and it get made, he'd have probably missed a couple of days training, which wouldn't have been ideal really for us. But we've had him in training and he's been training with it. So thank you for that support. As I said, it would have been a nice something to have, but Gregor still needed it and we needed it really. So thank you for answering that and playing your part in maintaining that training for us this week.
And just lastly, I know I asked you about Fizz after the second leg. You said he took a bang to the knee, didn't he? Is he in contention for Monday?
Yeah, he's back in now. He's been training and yeah, he's in full stride. He's in full flow. So he's had no reactions, which is good. So yeah, he's back in training.
Good stuff. See you down there and good luck Monday, Darren.
Thanks, Ricky. Cheers.
Hi, Darren. Are you well?
Hiya, Leon. Yeah, good talk.
Good stuff. You were the calmest man in the building the other Thursday. How did you manage it?
Yeah, no. I if it seemed that the calmness is because I'm just watching the players, Leon. I'm just making sure that they've got that support from me at the time that they needed, and I think by doing that you need to still keep focus on the game. So that was it really, and yeah, to get the goals at the time we did was great, but really the focus and the precision was on the players.
When did you get it out of your system? Did you was it by the next morning? You know, that you just moved on.
Yeah, no. For me, by the time in the morning, I think I was up at 9:15. I took myself for a walk around the park, and by the time lunchtime it'd gone, I was towards the final.
Yeah, this isn't just a promotion bid, Darren. It's almost like a mission, isn't it? You sort of think back to the Sunderland game and the big disappointment. It's more than just the usual season, isn't it? You know, it just has that feel about it.
Yeah, and it always has that, because that's been the very reason, you know, we've been here is to move this place forward. But Leon, it's been a mission because to move the place forward, but everybody, not just. Yeah. I've been saying all along, Leon, I don't feel like I'm on my own. I have the title of manager, but the title of manager allows me to ask for help from everybody. It allows me to do that. So ask for help from the players, ask for help from the staff, ask for help from this magnificent support that the football club's got, and ask for help from, you know, thank you to all the team that sold all the tickets for the final. Thank you to the ground staff that's prepared the pitches all season, the girls in the ticket office, commercial team, media team, support base, players, staff. So I'm able to say as manager, thank you for everybody, but everybody's played their part in getting us to this point here. And everybody will play their part for this club to continue moving forward. So it's something that I've always wanted. It's something that I've always driven, is the culture, the mentality, the togetherness. And that's what we've seen in abundance this season.
You've had a great football career. You've represented a lot of clubs with distinction. This club seems to me that it's seeped into your soul. I mean, you've been through a hell of a lot. You had, when you got relegated, the club was in a mess. You've sort of bounced back, built the club again. You had your health scares. You just missed out on it feels like it's sort of your club in a way.
Yeah, no, it feels that way. I definitely feel connected here, Leon, without a doubt. When I first came here, I had about 3 or 4 months into the job, and I said I'm moving to Sheffield, and I moved to the city, and I'll come straight here within 3 or 4 months, because I felt when I was working here and leaving the office at night, going back, I just felt I needed to be more in the city and be more connected here to the football club, and I genuinely can say I really enjoyed living here in the city, and it's one of the best things I've done, really, in terms of coming here. That in itself has brought that connection to the club, and that's why I can speak eloquently as I can about the passionate support base of these supporters, because I've been in the shops, I've been around the city in and around all the different places that will take you, where you're going to meet supporters, and outside in the parks and that. And I suppose when I walk around Sheffield, I can't hide the size I am, really, when people see me. So it's not like I can put a hat on and walk around and people don't see me, because they do see me. So I'm grateful for that, and I'm grateful for the support. But the support, Leon's always on a two-way. The supporters to me, but me back to them, really. And that's what I've witnessed, certainly being in here for the last 2 years.
I remember years ago, you probably don't know, but Sheffield Wednesday won a Wembley Cup final. Ron Atkinson brought Stan Boardman a comic, just to sort of keep it light-hearted with the players, and he was on the team bus. I'm not saying you're going to do anything like that, but it's important to relax the players, isn't it? You're going to have a few days away in a hotel. Have you got any ideas? You're going to have a quiz, something like that? Have you watch your film together? Just something to sort of forget about things for a few hours and then refocus on business, that sort of thing.
Leon, if I could take my phone and leave it in the room with those players, the jokers are within the players. I don't need to bring anybody in. If I could set a camera up so the supporters could see them in their natural environment amongst themselves, them on the team coach on the way down, they entertain themselves, really, and amongst each other. So there's some wonderful characters in the group of players, and I really don't need to bring anybody in, because the camaraderie is within the group. So they'll be fine. They'll be perfectly fine. And what they have a humbleness and a togetherness, as you witness, with some of the videos that's come out with them.
Is that what it was like on the Shrewsbury bus on the way back from there? Because I know that was a special day in your season, wasn't it? Yeah,
it was special. Yeah, it was real special. And, they talk. It's not just me what alludes to what the supporters is. The players talk as well. And, you can see them the times over the course of the season after games where the players have gone to the supporters and shown their appreciation. So, it's greatly felt from all parts of the football club. And as I said, the opportunity for me to come here and manage this wonderful football club, I didn't have to think too long and hesitate too long, because it's a fantastic football club, and it's great to hear this week how the fans have been talked up externally, how they should be spoken about. And as I said, the outside public will get another viewing of our special support base on Monday.
Yeah. Best of luck as ever, Darren. Thank you.
Cheers, Leon. Thank you.
Darren, can I just lob in one quick follow-up? George Byers, we'd seen some rumours that he might be fit to be involved at Wembley. Is there anything in that?
George is doing really, really well, Adam. I suppose the supporters and all that will have to see if he's involved on Monday or not, but I wouldn't want to say anything too much now.
Okay, thank you, Darren.
Cheers.
Anything else, guys?
John Westby here, if I could just jump in.
Yep, fine, John.
All right, thanks. You've spoken, Darren, about how you don't feel alone going into this game, and that you've got a multitude of people around you at the club supporting you. It's been such a roller coaster over the last couple of weeks, and you're such a focal point as the manager for the emotions of support. Have you been more glad than ever of that support network you've got around you at the club?
Yes, absolutely. And you can understand because football's football in terms of that it can take your emotions, John, certain ways, and it can bring you back in a split second. I suppose my focus has always been maintaining that consistency and you know, being honest and true with the game and always being inclusive, bringing our supporters, because they've seen football over season after season. John, no matter where this football club is at, all the Wednesday supporters will support this club through thick and thin, no matter where this football club's at. And the passionate support base will goes on, and it's gone on from generations to generation. So for them to come back and be supportive of the club, certainly over this week, is true testament to them.
When you go for a walk in the park, like you did after the game last week, did you do that after a defeat as well?
Yeah, I've been walk for walk, because for me it's a two-way thing, John. You got to feel it for a two-way thing, and we know with football presents itself another chance. It gives you another chance, and that's what football does. And so we know part and parcel of the game is the winning side and the losing side. We know it's all part and parcel of the game. It's the industry, so you can't shy away from it. So for me, it's taking that opportunity. As I said, I live here in Sheffield. There's some beautiful places here. I enjoy my walks, and yeah, when I feel it's right and ready to go and have one, I do go and have one. And on those travels, I've met many a people, which has been great.
Thank you, Darren.
Cheers, John. Thank you.
Hi, Darren. Mike Walters, Daily Mirror here. How are you?
Hi, Mike. Yeah, good. Thank you.
Good. Can I just ask you? You mentioned the sort of the positivity of the support and the passion of the support. Can I just ask you about the positivity of the manager, who somehow, when you're 4-0 down after the first leg of a playoff semi-final and you don't give it up, you've got fans ripping up their tickets on social media, you've received some dreadful abuse, which I don't want to focus on, but you didn't give it up. You believed that you could do what Liverpool did against Barcelona. You believed that you could do what Liverpool did against Milan in the final in the Champions League. You kept going. How do you instill that positivity in yourself when all the symptoms suggest that it's a lost cause?
Yeah, I think another thing is living here in Sheffield, and like I spoke about, the passionate support of the supporters and the encouraging words of the supporters, and I speak, Mike, about that energy that they've given us and that real drive, and that's my job, Mike, is to do that. Really, as the manager, is to continue that and bring everybody together. And I think by doing that is driven us as one over that line. But it's been a joint effort, and as I said, I don't feel, Mike, that I was able to do it alone. I think it's been an inclusive effort from everybody, and as I said, as manager, as a voice of the football club, I'm able to sort of protrude these messages out there and give people, because what one supporter may have said to me, another supporter, but guess what? Me being the middleman can bring them both together and share it with a multitude of fans, and let the supporters know just what their support, their passion, their consistency has helped us to achieve over the course of a season. And we know now the most important one, that's why I speak so eloquently about them, is the supporters and their passion. So it's greatly felt. So how I've done it is been just by being driven by that, really.
Brilliant. Just one last one. I know that jelly snakes are your sort of victory treat, shall we say. I've also read about late night bowls of Rice Krispies. When do you resort to late night bowls of Rice Krispies? Is that to get over a defeat, or is it because you're mulling over team selection? What's the occasion? It's not. Most people eat breakfast in the morning, not the night before.
Yeah, no. It's a
By the
good
way,
shout.
I eat late night bowls of cereal as well.
Yeah, no, I like sort of Rice Krispies as well because they're light as well, really. So, and they are a late night snack really for me. So as well as the jelly snakes, which are not great, but they are moreish. Sorry to use the pun, but and you got the Rice Krispies as well.
Brilliant. Thanks very much. Good luck Monday. I'll see you Monday.
Cheers, Mike. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any more, guys? Okay, thanks very much.